So the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, it's a device that's been out for quite a while now. In fact, that device did release in 2023 in October, and we haven't gotten a new A10 Plus for some reason, and maybe that will come soon. But even though that might be on the horizon here, we still need to talk about the A9 Plus because a lot of you out there are looking for a good tablet that's a bargain. That's why so many people watched my reviews on the A9 Plus, because a lot of people are just looking to save money and get a cheap tablet companion to bring with them. And the A9 Plus is definitely going to be pretty cheap nowadays. You could actually find it on sale around $150, and that is pretty much the regular price nowadays. I know it did release for $220 in the US, but it goes on sale very, very often. Now, the one thing to look out for is that there is a 4GB of RAM model, which is the base model, and it does come with 64 gigs of storage, and we do have another model that has 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Now, at this point, I would recommend that 8 gig model. I do think it's a little bit better overall, and it is going to feel a little bit speedier because you're not going to have to reload apps quite as often. But even that tablet with 128 gigs of storage, you could normally find it for $200 or less. And if you find it open box, you could get an even better deal depending on where you're looking. But is it worth that type of money even today? I would honestly say yes. This tablet is still going to get good operating system update support. Now, nowadays it is going to be less updates, of course, but it actually is going to get 3 years of operating system updates from when it launched. So that means you will be able to get Android 15 and Android 16. And this will get security updates all the way until 2027. And when we look at the speed, I know it's not super fast. And when we look at the display, some people are going to have a problem with this. And I need to quickly say, if you are a flagship phone user wanting a super fast, lightning fast device, if you're wanting a bright and vibrant screen with AMOLED colors, you definitely need to look elsewhere. But if you're someone who's been using budget tablets for a while, this tablet, the A9 Plus, is a very large upgrade from the Galaxy Tab A7 and the A8. I remember the Galaxy Tab A8. It was so darn slow. And the A9 Plus, it was very surprising because it did come with a Snapdragon processor. This does have the Snapdragon 695 processor, and that processor is way faster than that Unisoc processor that you would get in the past. This is going to be good for performance for basic stuff, and if you get the 8GB of RAM model, it should be more than good enough for your average stuff. Now, I do get it. If you're trying to play Roblox, it will play Roblox. If you have a child and they want to play Roblox, sure, they're going to be able to do that on this tablet. But it's going to be on low settings, and not everything's going to be perfectly smooth all the time. If you're wanting to game, of course you're not going to be able to do high-end gaming on here. And if you want a better looking screen, I know it's not AMOLED, but it's still not the best screen that you're going to find, even around $400 or $500. Remember, there are a lot of non-AMOLED screens that you could find in $300 or $400 tablets, and they are going to look a little nicer or be a little brighter. But this tablet has a headphone jack. It has an SD card slot. It does feel fairly well built overall. It is actually fairly thin and light. It does have 2 speakers on each side, and the speakers are actually pretty good for a budget tablet. And yeah, you're going to get bezels on the front, but overall I like what they have here. Not to mention, this tablet does come in several different colors, so I really do like the design of the A9 Plus. And the display of the A9 Plus, it's an 11-inch screen with a 1920 by 1200 resolution, so we are getting at least a full HD resolution. Everything does look clear, it does look good, but it's a 206 PPI density. It's not going to be the most amazing screen where all the colors pop off. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be at least 1080p, and you're going to be able to watch some content and enjoy it. Think of a laptop screen that's 1080p around $400. It's probably going to be similar to those displays. It gets around 400 nits of brightness, maybe just a little bit more, but it's not going to get too bright. But it is a good companion for watching watching content. If you are someone though that is looking really close and you're looking at those colors and wanting something super special, this is not going to be the screen to look at. This is going to be similar to the M11 or other tablets around this price, but it's not going to be as good as those $300, $400, $500, $600 tablets, and it won't be as good, of course, as your $1,000 tablets. So a lot of people are comparing to those. They're buying this, maybe getting it for free, and then they're getting frustrated when it's not as good as their S25 Ultra or their S24 Ultra. Maybe they get it free from one of their carriers through a carrier deal. I know a lot of people might get disappointed if you're one of those people that is used to using high-end stuff all the time, but as a basic companion, it does look good as far as the display. And it's 90 Hertz, which we don't even get in $800 iPhones, so I do like the refresh rate being a little bit better. Of course, with performance, even today, I've been using this tablet for a while now, but the performance still is actually pretty decent. Now, I do have the version that does have 8 gigabytes of RAM, so keep that in mind. I know if you get the version with 4 gigabytes of RAM, it might close out of some apps a little bit earlier than the version with 8 gigabytes. So if I have 6 apps open and I can go smoothly back and forth, maybe the 4 gigabyte version could only handle 4 apps before it has to restart one, and then it's just going to take a little bit longer to load. If you're only doing 1 or 2 things at a time, the 64 gigabyte version with 4 gigs of RAM will be more than good enough. It's going to be good for the basics for those people just doing 1 or 2 things and not doing much else. But if you are a multitasker that likes to go from social media to check this out, to check out a web page, and maybe you want to go to watch a movie and then go back, if you're one of those types of people, well, you might want to get the extra RAM just in case. But everything does feel fairly smooth, and once again, it does feel way better than previous years as far as their budget tablets. In fact, ever since this launched, we've seen some other competitors come out, like the Lenovo Tab M11. And the Tab M11, it's a little bit slower than this tablet. Even something like the Lenovo Tab Plus, it's going to be similar in performance to this tablet. Like, this tablet does perform very well when compared to Lenovo and other competitors, and normally Samsung is going to be a little more expensive as far as the hardware, but this year, they did a really good job with the processor they picked. It does depend on your expectations, and I need to make that clear. But so far, I know it's working great, and when it gets that new One UI, which I know is coming very, very soon, maybe even by the time you watch this video, you'll have that new One UI. And that's really cool to see these updates coming to older tablets. Now, outside of that, what else are you gonna get? Well, it's not gonna be so great with all the other extra little features. You're not gonna get 45-watt charging. It's only 15-watt charging. The battery size is a little over 7,000 milliamps, so it's not quite as good as the Tab S9 or some other devices with a similar screen size. It's going to be a little bit of a smaller battery than those, and the battery life will be okay, but it's not anything to write home about. It's just going to be average. You'll get 4 or 5 hours of usage out of it, maybe 6, 7, 8, depending on what you're doing and how high the brightness is, but it's not going to be absolutely groundbreaking. But you do get an SD card slot in the box, no fingerprint sensor, which might be a big deal to some people. But you do get Face Unlock, and Face Unlock does work okay in most situations. If you're wondering what else has changed, well, not really a lot. If you're wanting a lot of fancy AI features, we're not going to get that even when this does get updates, because the Tab S10 FE, even that doesn't have a lot of AI features outside of Circle to Search. So don't expect a bunch of cool AI features to come to this tablet. You shouldn't expect the absolutely greatest AMOLED screen or absolutely greatest performance, but compared to the Lenovo Tab M11 or some other basic tablets, this is a really good companion. And I know a lot of tablets around $100 or $200 on Android, they used to be so slow all of the time. And this tablet, it might feel like it if you're always using flagships, but this tablet is way faster than budget tablets in previous years. It's a huge step up from Samsung, and that's why it doesn't really feel all that slow to me, even in 2025. If your tablet gets slower over time, maybe you do a factory reset to freshen things up and reinstall apps and just start over. That might help you, but overall, I think you're gonna get fairly good performance out of this for the basics. It's a really good companion if you just want to use it to read some books. Maybe you want to use it to actually watch some TV or watch some entertainment, watch some YouTube. I think it's going to be great for that, and you could do that on a larger display. When you factor in all of those things, just having a nice tablet to bring with you, it even has Samsung DeX, so you could do some productive things with it. I think it's going to be great. Even for basic things like documents with Google Docs, it's going to be good for the basics. One of the better tablets that I would recommend to someone for just doing some basic stuff like that. And you could even game on lower settings. But if you're wanting anything better than this, if you're wanting something a lot better, you're just gonna have to pay a little more money for it. Maybe find the Tab S9 FE and find it on a sale or find it on the used market. That tablet's gonna be a little bit faster and a little bit better with the display. There are other options. This doesn't have an S Pen, right? It does have a keyboard cover. I will put the link to that in the description, and I really do like the keyboard cover, but it's gonna be a little too costly for some people, right? This is just gonna be a budget tablet to bring with you on the go for the basics. It's gonna be very good for your kids. I know one of mine does have this tablet and she really, really likes it. So it's gonna be good for kids. It's gonna be good for people who want it for the basics, but not great for those who want more. If you want more and you wanna save a little bit of money, try the Tab S9 FE or the Tab S10 FE, something like that, around $200 to $500. Or maybe the Lenovo IdeaTab Pro. That's a really good value right now, between $300 and $400. But if you're looking at this, it's still really good in 2025, but I would expect there will be a Tab A10 Plus coming soon, and that is something to be on the lookout for. So stay tuned. It's been about a year and a half, but this tablet is still worth buying as long as you're okay with less software updates, because it is a little bit down the line of its life cycle. It's still gonna be good for a lot of basic usage, and I think some people will like it as long as they're not too picky and as long as they don't need all that much. If you just need the basics, this will work great. So hopefully this updated review, hopefully it does help you out. If you do like it, well, give me a like and also give me a sub. That does mean a lot to my channel. I'm a smaller channel still under 50K subs, and I really need some support, so that is a good way to help me. Another way to help is to check those links in the description, because if this tablet is on sale, I will list Best Buy and Amazon and Samsung's website, so you could check all the sales out down there. And I hope no matter what you're going through, I hope you have a great day. Feel free to check out some other stuff if you have time. And no matter what, enjoy your week in this crazy, crazy world.